To the Sprinter build. Obviously the keen-eyed of you will realise that I'm not in the Sprinter today. I'm actually in a split screen camper 1967. We've been working on making a new table. So this is the table that we've been making. It's a drop down table. It's got its own support leg and it stays in place. So what it does is we squeeze the legs together, we flip up the legs, the table drops down and it stays in place there while we are driving. So if you want extra leg room here, that's as simple as it gets. Once we get to our destination, we can drop the table down, the leg comes down automatically and we've got the table back again. Just a bit of ply is some of the edging we've used off the sides of the Sprinter, but it's still a camper, but it's just an old one. Now we're going to be moving on to more interior build on the Sprinter, so we'll take you through that today. But it looks like what we're going to... So we're just finishing off by putting this plastic trim on around the edges. That tidies all the edges up. Hello. I think it's about 10mm by 10mm. The good thing is, if you've got any joints that are not 45 degrees, then it is possible to bend that together to create another angle. So we've now got a different angle on that. So we're using this throughout the van, like on here, just to finish off the edges. And it does a fairly decent job of finishing off the trim around here. And we've even used a similar thing in white around the edge of the bed here. So it's just the finishing trims that we're putting on. So we've now got the blinds, the blanket, and basically you've got a rail that runs up top and bottom. It's a channel here and a channel at the top, and your curtains run on this rail, and stretch curtains, so they are quite snug, and obviously get them as close as you can to keep the light out. So that's our curtain that we've got on the sliding door. Nice and tidy, not too bad to put up. The only thing we haven't been able to do is fasten that one. We've got one there, but that one would end up in the mechanism somewhere. And you get tie backs as well to keep them tied back. So on our back doors, we are going to be fitting a couple of these. Storage nets, only 4 little screws in the corners, and it's easy to do, but it just gives you a little bit of storage there for books, magazines, whatever, or mobile phone. And obviously we put them high enough up so that if or when we're in bed, then obviously it'll come down the bed, and this will be round about the bed height. So we're just going to fit one on this side, quite easy to do. So the seating's come back from the trimmers, and we'll give you that first look at what it looks like. It looks like it's gone for a nice grey material, looks hard wearing, sponge is covered, looks quite decent, it's a tight fit, and obviously once you seat on these they'll start to wear in, but it brightens it up a little bit on the inside as we expected, and obviously it looks fully trimmed in the back now, so things are moving at a pace. So when it comes to holding our doors closed, we're using these two. It's a spring roller and a catch. Basically they go together to form the catch. Putting these on is a bit difficult, but like anything else, you've got to be able to line things up correctly. Now what we're going to try on these two doors is to put these two in and they're doing two jobs really. They're doing the job of keeping the door closed, but also they're doing the job of putting the door up to the shut line to keep it flush once it's closed. So let's take a look at that. So we've now come to putting the catches on. We mounted one there, that roller. And what we've done is we've used some double-sided tape there and stuck that on there, so we get an idea. We can position that so that when we close it, you can probably just about see maybe that it will fit in to the roller. So that's just a little trick. Might be top trick for today, that one. But now we're just going to get a couple of screws, mark where they need to be, take off the double-sided tape and attach that, and then we can adjust it for how much depth we want. But we want it to go all the way in like that, so we get a nice flush finish on that area. So one of the last few jobs that we're going to be doing is to seal around the edges. So we've just been doing down there, up there, around the tops, and I'm now just finishing off that back piece. Now, to give us a more in-depth bit of silicone, I've opened the gaps up using that, and then I'll use that gap, hopefully, and the silicone will go down the gap to fill it up. Keep moving this along, we should have a gap big enough to put the silicone in for us to have a good seal around the edge. So we're now getting to a point where there's zero gap down this end. Here we go. So the idea is obviously to make the gap. Yeah, I can sit here and still move it out of the way. Yeah. Oh, probably not. So the kit that you get two lots of profiles in the kit, and again it's a Volden kit. Like you see, we've got pointed edges, we've got curved edges, got an angled edge, a small angled edge, but they're not expensive. That's a kit that we got, and it does the job. So quite a few days there. I've got most of the interior finished, so obviously now we just got a few little items to finish. I've still got some silicone on my hands from doing the siliconing around the edges of the worktops, but it's always a good thing to do things like that at the end, because you know you're not going to get that silicone disturbed. I'm going to leave it for a few days now before we actually do anything else with the van. We're still waiting for the timbre door to arrive, and that's one reason why on the back cupboard that we've got near the seating area, that's why we've gone for the opening doors, because the sizes and the quality of the timbre doors that we wanted was not available. So we could have done it the other way, where we ordered the timbre doors and then built the cupboards to suit, but we chose to do it, I suppose, the other way. But you know, things happen like this, all in the planning. But as always, if you like what you see, if you want to give us that thumbs up, we'll appreciate that. And if you'd like to subscribe, it will keep the channel going. So that's it for now. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.